There we go. We are live. We are live. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Happy Thursday. It is Migraine Strategy Call Day. I am Debbie Waidl. I'm just double checking and making sure that we are actually live in the group. We are. Yay. Hello, everyone. It is so good to be here for another Migraine Strategy Call. Again, my name is Debbie Waidl. I'm a certified functional migraine health coach specialist, here to help you figure out how to actually get to the root cause of your migraines. Stop taking those pills that are giving you all of those side effects and not making you feel well. Stop worrying about Botox and risky surgeries and actually get to figure out why you're getting the migraines so that you can stop them and get back to living your life. Today, I have a very special guest with us. I have Brenda here, who has done just that, who has found her version of migraine freedom and is working towards her destination zero of zero migraines. And I am so thrilled that she is here to be able to share her story with us today. So Brenda, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for all you've done to help me get this far.
Oh, absolutely. And Brenda's a super trooper today because she has no internet. So she is here on her phone, and we're just keeping fingers crossed that our connection stays good. So thank you so much for doing that for us. So just so everybody knows a little bit about Brenda before we get started, she's been happily married for 5 years. She says to the love of her life, which is amazing. And you guys just had a beautiful holiday together. What was that? 3 weeks ago? 4 weeks ago?
Almost 4 weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll have to talk about that, but that was amazing that you got the opportunity to do that. And together they share 5 married grandchildren, 9 grandchildren. You had migraines when you were younger, but you were controlling them by birth control, which we hear from so many people, controlling by birth control hormone. But they started up again 8 years ago, got progressively worse, and you were on preventatives and abortive meds that left you in a fog. I am sure that there are so many women that are watching right now, are going to be watching on the replay, that can totally resonate with that story. So ladies, if you're watching right now, do me a favor, say hello in the comments. Let us know you're here, where you're watching from. And as you're listening to Brenda's story, reach out and let us know if that sounds familiar to you, because so many of these stories are so similar. So speaking of that, let's jump right in, Brenda. Let's hear about your journey. Share a little bit of your journey with everyone that's watching today, what it's been like for you since you started with your migraines.
Well, like you said, when I was younger, I had them, and then went on birth control, and that was fine. And even when I went off birth control, it was fine for a while. But then about 8 years ago, they started up again. And I used over-the-counter migraine medicine, which I found was not really good for me because I used it too much, and it caused all kinds of other side effects.
Mm-hmm.
So the doctor put me on triptans, which I had taken earlier, and they seemed to help, but the migraines kept progressing, becoming more frequent, becoming more, literally throwing up, crawling on the floor, hiding in the darkness, all those things that you don't want life to be about.
No.
So after I had COVID in 2020, the migraines just totally intensified, became longer. I went to the doctor. She put me on a preventative, which, at first you're like, okay, it's going to work. It's going to work.
Yeah.
And then it stops working, and then it stops helping, but it makes you feel groggy. And a fog would be the light way of saying a zombie.
Yeah.
When I would get up, my husband would be like, are you okay? Or what, are you having a migraine? And sometimes I wasn't having a migraine. I was just in the fog of a migraine, the aftermath or the precursor. And it was exhausting. So they upped my preventative, and that just made my fog worse.
Yeah.
So, like many things, you're on social media and you see, oh, this can help you and this can help you. And believe me, I've tried this and that, and acupuncture, chiropractor, brain stimulation, everything. People were trying to talk me into Botox, but that just sounded kind of disgusting to me. So So I saw the Women's Migraine Freedom group and I signed up, and I thought it was just like a support group, just like, here's what I've tried, because I've tried up stuff like that, stuff that works.
Yep.
Is a board where you can put ideas and ask people what they think. And so I'm grasping like we all do, trying to find relief.
Mhm.
And I was in like the third week of a 3-day migraine, and one of your staff reached out to me and asked me those pointed questions like, are you ready for relief? I mean, just a simple, broad question like that. I'm ready for relief. And it just went so quickly. I think the next day I was talking to Barbie and set up a time to meet with my husband and her, because he's always been very supportive, but I want him to understand what I was going into.
Yeah, and that's so important because, right, they don't always understand, right? We do a really good job I know sometimes we can't hide our pain, but we do a really good job at hiding the little pain because we're like, oh, I don't want to bother them with the little pain because when the big pain comes, I want them to be there. But as you're talking about, you had, discomfort just from the medication, not necessarily stabbing pain, but that brain fog. And so you get tired of complaining and saying that all the time. So it's always great when the spouse, partner, or a family member can kind of hear the whole story, because sometimes it is the first time they've heard that whole story.
Yeah. And just pushing, we as women in particular, push through things. We've pushed through birth. We've pushed through raising kids. And when I started having my migraines, I was teaching first grade. So it was like, I can't go home every day. So I'm pushing through. I'm doing the best I can. And pretty soon that becomes normal to you, just pushing through, and you don't realize how much you're missing until it goes away. Yeah. So anyway, I signed up. As soon as I signed up, I thought, oops, these people really have it much worse than I do. A lot of the people have underlying issues. Cheryl's story last night just touched my heart, but I know that there's other people and even people on staff who've had other health issues. And at first I was a little bit intimidated by the program because, I was just having migraines. I wasn't having underlying issues that I was aware of.
Yeah.
But as I decided just to focus on what I can, learn what I can. And it has changed my life. It has, it has taken away so many barriers to my life that I was doing, but now I'm doing them. I'm enjoying them. I'm looking forward to them. I'm not hesitating about them. But it also has changed my life in ways that have helped me to become a better mother, daughter-in-law, friend, because I can be present. I can really look forward to things and enjoy them. And it just has given me clarity of what life was before.
Yeah, I think that's so important that we all remember that, right? Because so many of us, I get on, a lot of phone calls with women and they say to me, well, I'm not missing anything. I'm still going to everything. I'm still showing up. But are you really? You're there. Your physical body is there. Because I remember doing the same thing. And that's why I feel like I can very easily say to them, really? Are you sure you were there? Because I remember going to my kids' concerts and sporting events and, have birthday parties and Christmas and holidays. I was there, but I don't remember it like they do. I don't remember all the details and all the fun, because I remember how many more hours is it till I can take my next med? How can I slip ice on without anybody knowing? Or if I put that, icy hot on, man, I'm going to smell, but I really need something on the back of my neck. That's what we were doing. We weren't living it, right? We weren't living in the moment.
No. And the first thing everybody asks me when I walk in the door to a function is, how are you feeling? How are you feeling? Yeah. Not how are you, but how are you feeling? Because they know I deal with it. And even when you go to functions, you tell them you're fine, even when you have a migraine, because you don't want the function to be about you or the migraine. Exactly. And so you're almost putting a mask on. And you are putting a mask on. Yeah. And now I've taken that mask off. And I look forward to functions this coming holiday season where people aren't, their first question is looking at me, seeing the strain on my face and saying, how are you feeling? I want them to say, how you doing?
Exactly.
You look so much better.
Exactly.
So,
I
and that's where I'm going.
love that. And I don't want to
And
gloss
as you
over.
said,
Yep, go right ahead.
I'm still on my journey to Destination Zero. I am, but I have learned so many things. I mean, every time I had a migraine before, my husband would ask, why do you think you had it? What can we do? Now it's like, I had it because of this and this and this. And next time I'm doing this and this and this to make sure, hold me accountable. And he's right there. He's right there. So it's nice to see Destination Zero coming.
Absolutely. And I think that's something that maybe we need to talk about more in this group. There's so many women that'll say, well, I've tried everything. I've tried it all. So how can you possibly tell me that you are going to 100% guarantee me you're going to get me to zero migraines? I can't. I cannot guarantee anyone that I can get them to zero migraines. I can give everyone the tools that they need to be able to reduce that severity, duration, and frequency and move themselves towards that destination zero. And many of them get to destination zero. But so much depends on our choices, right? Our choices are a big part about it. Our actual life, let's just say we've had a couple women in this group that sadly have had some losses in the last few months. When that happens, the stress increases and sometimes the migraines come with it. We can't control that, right? We can learn how to lessen the severity, duration, and frequency. And as that person heals, that will impact them less. But the tools are there. And I think that's what you're saying is that you've got those tools now. So your migraines are so much different from what they were, not getting them as often. And when they do, getting rid of them quickly, and them not lasting as long. And that's what we're looking to be able to give people the tools to be able to do. And then the longer you go, like I haven't had one, 10 years. It's been 10 years. So the healing takes time. We didn't get ourselves in this situation overnight.
That's true. That's true. And I feel like I am healing. And like I've told you before, this month is a tough month for me because of what I do. And at the beginning, I fought it. And then I'm like, okay, do what you can to prevent the migraine. But also keep your meds on hand. And my migraines have been regular, but less severe, less long. They're much shorter. And a lot of times I'm able to just fight it and keep it down and it goes away. So I do have the tools. At this month in my life, I just need to focus on getting through this month in my life and then really hunkering down because I want to be ready for the holidays.
Exactly.
I want to enjoy them.
Yep. Yeah. So, once you get through this piece of your work that you have to do, then you can bring everything back in and we can do more work and we can really focus on continuing that healing process and allowing your body to have that break that it needs. Because it doesn't go away, and I think we get resistance from some women saying, well, if it's not going to do 100%, I don't want to do it. Why should I waste the time? So that's a good question to ask you. So Brenda, why would somebody waste the time if you're going to sit here and tell them today, you're not 100% migraine free? Why would they waste the time doing this?
I will tell you the only time you will waste is the time that you don't work the program. That if you're not willing to learn, if you're not willing to work it and use your tools, you won't be successful. But if you do, you will learn. Like I said, I've learned other parts of my life, how stress affects me so much. And it's changed the perspective of how I deal with things. And not putting so much pressure on myself and prioritizing myself. But anybody can make this program work. And like you said, it will take time to get to being completely free. But boy, I'm looking for the day when I could say, I haven't had a migraine in 10 years. Now when I don't have a migraine for 2 months, I'm ecstatic. And so this program is for everybody. For those more like me who just deal with the migraines, for those who have other underlying issues, I would recommend it to anyone, and know that you can do it and be successful. Your level of success will be dependent on how much you put into it.
Absolutely. And it's so important. And you've said this twice, so I just want to reiterate, it does not matter if you are someone that gets a migraine once a month, or if you're someone who gets a migraine every day. It doesn't matter if you're someone who gets migraines and has an autoimmune condition, or joint pain, or allergies, or no gallbladder, or endometriosis, or fibromyalgia, or heart condition, or cancer. I mean, I could keep going and going and going. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, all of those things that we just mentioned are your body's way of telling you that something is wrong. And what your body's telling you is that you're chronically inflamed. So whether you're someone with 1 migraine a month or someone with 30, we still help you the same way. It's exactly the same thing. All we're doing is working on the 6 key areas that cause inflammation and reducing it one step at a time. Now, for someone who has a laundry list of things, that they are challenged with, it may take a little bit longer, right? Because we have a lot more healing to do. Like for myself, for example, I had Hashimoto's, I had eosinophilic esophagitis, and I had migraines. It took me a little longer because I had some gut healing to do. I had some esophagus work to do, but that doesn't mean it's impossible. And the same goes for this program with someone like Brenda. And you did use the word just. So I'm going to challenge you, Brenda, never to say just again when you talk about migraines. I just have migraines. No, you have migraines.
Very true. That's very true.
I love it I don't love it when people get on calls with me and they're like, I only have 2 migraines a month, so I'm really not a big deal. You can go help somebody else. Like, you have 2 migraines a month. Let's multiply that by 12. That is 24 days a year. That is almost 1 month a year that you are having migraines. You want that month back? I would want that month back. So, all right, let's double check and see who's here. Brenda and I have just been chatting way back and forth, and I've been neglecting all of you over in the Facebook group. So we have Melissa, we have Valentina, we have Terry, we have Kat, we have Sarah, we have Sue, we have Cindy, we have Mary. Oh my goodness, we have Jennifer, we have Tracy. You got a little fan club going on over there, Brenda.
Well, I hope that anything that I say can help anyone who's listening. You want to just shout it on the rooftops. I have told all my friends, my sister. Some people just aren't willing or ready to do it. But I pray one day they will be, because it has made a huge difference in my life, and it's just because of what you've laid out for us. So thank you for laying out the plan. But the encouragement that I get from the group, from the way, the method that you have it laid out, it has just changed my life completely.
Well, you definitely are a totally different person than when you started. You've always been amazing, but I just see that light in your face now. And the fact that you were able to go away on such an amazing trip with your husband. And when you went, I knew you had the tools that you need so that you could enjoy that. That was the best for me. I'm sure obviously it was great for you, but it's amazing for us and as a team to be able to see you ladies getting your life back. And that's why we do this on a daily basis.
Yeah, and the tools, you have the 6 areas of inflammation, but the tools go beyond that. The tools that I have learned have helped me with barometric pressure changes, flying long distances. There's so many helpful tools that go along with preventing or eliminating inflammation. So it's just so much more than you would ever expect.
I love that. Listen, anybody, if you guys have any questions, please pop them in right now as we wrap up here. I want to make sure that if you have any questions for Brenda, that we get those answered. If you're watching on the replay, feel free to drop in #replay. You can still ask questions on the replay. We know that we have so many women in this group that are in all different time zones. So we know that this time of day is not perfect for everyone, but when you have people from China and Australia and Mexico and the UK and the US and, all over, it's really hard to find a perfect time of day, which is why we do it kind of smack dab in the middle of the day. So please let us know if there are any questions that we can answer for you if you're watching and people are still popping on. This is great. So to kind of sum up what we've been talking about, you've had a chance to hear Brenda's journey. You've had a chance to hear, how much she's been able to shift the severity, duration, and frequency of her migraines through working with us in one of our programs. We do have many ways that we work with people, and Brenda worked with us in the Freedom From Migraine Method program, which is a 4-month program where we walk you through step by step exactly what you need to do to reduce your inflammation. And the happy side effect of reducing that inflammation is that all of those symptoms, as Brenda was saying, start going away, not just migraines, but the other symptoms that you may be feeling, whether that be some brain fog or some joint pain or, allergies start to reduce a little bit. Because again, at the end of the day, this isn't as much as, yes, it is about helping you end your migraines. It is 100% about reducing that chronic inflammation that is at the root of all illness. So even if today you don't want to do it for the migraines, think about honoring your health so that in the future, the inflammation doesn't get worse and we're not worrying about worse things like cancer and heart disease and strokes and dementia, because that's what ends up happening when we don't control the inflammation. Your body's yelling at you right now and saying, please listen. And it's our job to listen, 100% our job. So on that happy note, Brenda, you have a captive audience here, a very captive audience of people that still keep popping on. What would you like to say to these women, these thousands of women in the Women's Migraine Freedom Group who maybe joined like you did and thought this was a support group, maybe had no idea that they could actually end their migraines, kind of came in thinking, I'm just going to read what other people are doing, maybe try to copy them, maybe see if I can, I don't know, find out what oil's good this week or what pill's good this week. What would you say to those women to give them some hope and to move them forward?
First thing I would say is interact with Debbie and her staff. They have a lot of helpful information for you. They're not pushy. They truly just want you to have freedom from your own migraine. And interact with the people on the Facebook page, the Women's Migraine Freedom page. Mm-hmm. If you have heard somebody say something, tag them. We all want to share this journey with you. And we all want you to have your own migraine freedom. So don't hesitate. Don't think it's too little, too much. Mm-hmm. You're just right where you want to be, and you get to make the choice of how you want to live the rest of your life.
Absolutely. And that's what we want. We want each and every one of you to be in control of your own health, your own life, your own destination, because we have that control. We just have to sometimes get out of our own way, mm-hmm. put ourselves first and do it.
That's a big thing. Put yourself first. Put yourself first. I've learned that probably the biggest thing I've learned is I have to put myself first. In using all the tools, you have to put yourself first. So do it now. Do it now. Start little steps. Put yourself first. Reach out.
Absolutely. You're getting hearts. You're getting love over there. That is a perfect way to end this. So please remember, everyone watching, we're here. We're here for whatever you need. As Brenda said, we're all in the Women's Migraine Freedom Group. We have a team of 10 amazing women that work in this, in my program, that work for me. And we also have all of our amazing graduates that stick around in this group because they don't want to leave each other. So they all stick around. So if you have questions, you're going to see them commenting, you're going to see them, reaching out to you. And they do it because they don't want you to have to live like this anymore. That's why they do it. Brenda's here volunteering her time to speak to you today because she just really wants to share the message. Because let's face it, when something great happens and we start feeling great, we just want to shout it from the rooftops. And I know I'm, 10 years, migraine free, and I still want to shout it from the rooftops and let people know that you don't have to live that way. You just don't. You don't have to. So Brenda, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time today and for all of your words of wisdom for everyone.
You're welcome, but thank you and your team so much for putting me in this place where I have wisdom to share.
Oh, you're the sweetest. It has been our absolute pleasure. Our absolute pleasure. All right, everyone, we are going to wrap it up today. Let's take a look, see what's going on next week. So next week, I'm so excited. November 3rd, Thursday, for our migraine strategy call. We have a huge announcement that we're going to be talking about. I might give you a little sneak peek of the announcement this weekend, but it is going to be something that we have never done before in this group. It is going to be a very large, labor-intensive 3-day event that you ladies do not want to miss. I've been talking about it a little bit this week in some posts and emails that have gone out, so make sure you take a look at those. This is, as I said, a never done before thing that we are putting together for you that I know every single one of you in here is going to benefit from, which is why I took the time to do this. So make sure you join next Thursday to get all the details. Make sure you watch out for information coming to you from Valentina as well. She'll be reaching out to a bunch of you in Messenger, the women that she really feels are going to 100% benefit from this, to make sure you get the info. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you know where to find us all. All right, everybody. Thanks so much. Here's to your migraine-free day, and we'll see you next week. Take care.